be doing an overview of the Venom Pro-2 charger, including all the different stats and the overall quality of the product you're going to be getting. The first thing I will talk about is the accessories you get out of the box, then I'll talk about the stats, and then give an overall review of the price compared to what you get. Out of the box, the items you will get will be the charger itself, all different types of connections you will need to charge up your battery, and a cord you can use to plug into your wall. There's two different ways you can operate the charger. One of them is using AC, and the other one is using DC. The AC voltage required is between 100 and 240 volts. If you do decide to use a battery, which is DC, it will require in between 11 and 18 volts. The AC method is used with the wall plug-in you get when you buy your charger. You just plug this into the side, and no matter what country you're in, the charger will always turn on. The DC method is used by hooking up anything with the required voltage to a receiver connector. You're going to plug this connector into the charger and it will power it on just fine. This will work especially well with car batteries. But with this battery, it doesn't have enough voltage to power it on correctly. The different types of batteries you can charge are LiPo, nickel metal hydride, nickel cadmium, and lead acid. It is also important to note that all the types of batteries can be charged in between 0.1 amps and 6 amps. You can charge a LiPo in between 1 and 6 cells, as well as other functions for charging, balancing in case the cells are unbalanced, fast charging in case you are dumb because it only goes up to 6 amps, which is pretty pointless. There's also storage if you're going to decide to keep your charger on for a very long time, which I do not suggest. I'll talk about it later. Discharge them for disposal, and that's it. You can charge a nickel metal hydride of any number of cells, as well as there's functions for charging, discharging for disposal, and the number of cycles in between charging and discharging. Nickel cadmium has the same functions as a nickel metal hydride. You can charge lead acid batteries as long as they're in between 1 and 10 cells, as well as they also have the function to discharge. To change the settings on the charger, there's a section called User Set Program. This contains information for if you don't want to charge your LiPos, and if you are one of those uncommon people that owns Life batteries or Lilo batteries, then you can change that from here. Just so you know, but you probably don't use them. Another thing is the check time, nickel metal hydride sensitivity, safety temperature cutoff in case the LiPos are deciding to set on fire, the charger will turn off for you. Waste time, which I'm not really sure what it does. Safety timer in case you leave it on for too long. Capacity cutoff. And here's where you can change the settings for if you want it to beep or not. I made a video about that. And then there's also the input power for when you're using DC voltage. Just a minimum in case the battery is too low voltage. But you can only change it between 10 and 11 volts, which is not very useful. One of the really cool functions of the charger is after User Set Program, you have something to test the internal resistance of your LiPo or nickel metal hydride or NiCad batteries. Works on any kind of battery. All you have to do is connect it, hit start, and then it measures the amount of ohms inside of each individual cell. I think that's really, really cool. Now that we're aware of the different functions of the charger, let's look over some pros and cons. Pro-1, there's lots of different ways to power it on. Pro-2, there's a lot of safety features. Pro-3, it has warranty. Con 1, it's very noisy. Con 2, these plugins commonly break. And Con 3, if you leave it on too long, the AC input will fail. Overall, this is a pretty good charger, and I'll give it about a 7 out of 10. The reason I'm doing that is because the price is a little bit high, and you could just get a dual charger for about a few bucks more. Alright, that's pretty much for this video. If you found it useful, please give it a like, but I am done.